Unified World Championship bout contested under equal rules. That's 3-minute rounds. She is one of boxing's most electrifying stars, the unified super featherweight champion of the world, fighting out of Dallas, Texas by way of Fremont, Ohio, Alycia Baumgardner. And last but not least, we had to end with her. You probably guessed who we had to end with. She is MVP's 7th Division World Champion, Puerto Rico's first ever undecorated female fighters in the history of boxing. With over 50 professional fights, she remains one of the most feared and respected athletes in the history of the sport. She's the boxing trailblazer, champion of equality, and is MVP's first ever signee, the reigning, unified, featherweight world champion, hailing from Brooklyn, New York, and Carolina, Puerto Rico. She is the real deal, Amanda Serrano! All right. I'll ask some questions, media in attendance. I want you to ask questions as well, so get them ready, but I'll kick things off right here and now. What an honor it is to be in the world, in the greatest city in the world, with some of the greatest fighters, regardless of gender, in the world. Look at this. Look at all this gold up here. It's unbelievable. It's actually taking my breath away, and I want to start with you, Amanda. MVP's first signing. When you signed, when you gave your career up to these guys, when you believed in them, Nakisa and Jake, could you have ever imagined this? MVPW, ESPN, this type of talent joining you along the way?
No, not in a million years. You know, I took a chance. Well, they took a chance with me. And I was always told, Jordan always told me, if you're given the opportunity, show up, show out. And I'm glad I did that. I made them proud. And look, I brought a whole gang of amazing women with me, and we're going to continue to show the world that we have talent, we're marketable, we can fight. And thanks to ESPN, the world gets to see us all.
And obviously I mentioned some fights and some dates. You're up here. We assume you'll be fighting soon. Can you break any news for us? Is there anything you can tell us about when we'll see you again?
Listen, there's one card in particular I'm looking at, but I'm still speaking with the team, Nakisa and Jordan, so, but they know I need to fight. I never fought on ESPN. I fought on the best platforms. I remember sitting, watching Tuesday night fights, Friday night fights on ESPN, and now to be a part of it, I need to fight on ESPN soon.
Yes, that is the place to be. Of course, everyone wants to fight on ESPN. Alycia, you will be fighting on April 17th, defending those titles. 2 shows with MVP. They were on a massive platform, obviously Netflix. Now here you are on ESPN. How great is this going for you so far? And can you tell us what you think about this title defense coming up in about a month and a half or so?
Yes, this event is going to be super exciting. You know, Jake Paul, MVP have been game changers in women's sports. So now we have ESPN coming along for MVPW. So to be a part of that, to be a game changer, to be someone who is setting a standard, I'm looking forward to this opportunity, setting the stage, and always bringing the fight.
Love it, and of course, Mary, big fight for you, obviously, and it ended somewhat unceremoniously, somewhat inconclusively. That's why we're seeing it again. What did you learn from that first meeting against Stephanie that you're going to try to apply when you guys meet on May 30th?
I think any fight you have is a learning experience, and we've already addressed a lot of things. Excited for the rematch. I think a lot of people are.
I'd like to ask your opponent, Stephanie, are you excited for the rematch as well? Obviously, she wants to get those belts. You're still the champion. It ended, like I said, unceremoniously. How did you feel about the ending? And do you like the fact that you're getting a chance to run it back with her right away?
I'm so excited for this rematch. Yes, the fight ended in controversy. She said she could have caught up at the end, and I want to have this next fight, no excuses. And most importantly, I'm having this rematch in my city, El Paso. My city of Greece is a champion, and I'm so excited to bring this fight home.
Can I ask you further on that, to get this opportunity to not only fight on ESPN, but in your hometown where you're such a big deal and beloved, and obviously we talked about your involvement with the police department. Would it be fair to say greatest honor of your career so far?
Yes. Thank you, Nakisa. Thank you, Jake Paul. Thank you, MVP. To have this fight in my city of El Paso, it's a dream come true. And I'm so excited because I know Texas, New Mexico, and Mexico is going to come out to support this.
Yes, and of course, Holly, very popular in New Mexico as well. Nakisa, I'd be remiss if I don't ask you about you and why this deal with ESPN is so big for you and Jake and the whole team.
Sure. I was raised by a single mom, so seeing her struggles and path to making it was always something that was very eye-opening. We all know half the world are women, 50% of the world population, so there's a massive demographic available. You then look at the amazing athletes that are women throughout the world. And I was fortunate enough to be there when we introduced women's MMA to UFC. To see the impact that Ronda Rousey had was beyond eye-opening. When we set up MVP and we said to our network partner, we want to put women's boxing on as the co-main event, everyone paused, took a step back, and didn't seem to understand why. And honestly, a lot of it was that conviction of what I saw with Ronda Rousey, and the belief that we could find an Amanda Serrano that could show the world what this sport is all about. And now, to be here 4 years later with the best sports platform in the US on linear television for all these incredible athletes is the most important day of my career.
And as you know, you follow the boxing game quite core brand that brought boxing back to ESPN. We haven't seen boxing on ESPN since July of last year. How big of a deal is that?
I think it's a testament to these athletes, of course our team at MVP, but also the rise of women's sports, right? I look at my son, he's 9.5 years old. He's a fan of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I see young men wearing women's basketball shoes on the court on a consistent basis. That's a trend that's evolving to where people can be a fan truly from, their earliest years in women's boxing. So our job is to give them the platform, help them express their brand, and then it's up to them who becomes the next Amanda Serrano when Amanda Serrano decides to win MVP in the executive race.
Quick question for Patterson's Shadasia Green. I see all that gold belts and did so great in that fight back in July. And could I ask, how has life changed since getting that big victory? I know it was a very emotional fight for you, and I would imagine life has changed in a very good way. What's it been like?
Absolutely. It was very emotional. I achieved something so amazing that night, July 11th. Being on one of the biggest women's boxing card ever. So my life has changed, of course. I'm still sleeping on cotton. I move.
I was wondering if you were going to change.
No, silk sheets, they make me sweaty.
Yes.
So, and like Nakisa said, they make you lazy. And I'm looking forward to putting on a beautiful performance and to showcase some skills you guys haven't seen. And I think me beating Savannah Marshall, who is a great fighter, a world champion, and an aspect of her past, is only going to up my game from here.
Love it. All right, I want to ask some media for some questions. We'll weave through everyone as well, but the floor is yours. Just please tell us your name and where you're from.
Hi, my name is Melissa Smith. I'm with Girl.
We are investing a lot of time, a lot of resources and capital. It's not like there's endless riches in boxing for an independent promoter like ourselves, but we have a belief that over time, we will then get to a point where the returns are there on investment the right way, and there's more Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor type opportunities. We would love to work with smaller promoters and provide an ecosystem for their fighters to rise up through the ranks, as long as it comes from a place of logic, right? We have this amazing press conference today. I think many will look at it and say the riches are here in boxing. This isn't about the riches in boxing. This is about giving these athletes a platform equal to their male counterparts, and they have to run with it. They have to show the world why they need to pay attention.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Another media question.
Good morning, my name is Jose Rivera from Chosen One Productions and Vocero Latino. First of all, I want to congratulate all these wonderful women on their achievements. Nakisa, is there any plans in the future for MVPM for the males on one network? And if so, when can we get Amanda Serrano main event in Puerto Rico with these wonderful women on the card on ESPN?
I would say our focus is on building MVPW globally, right? We have a partnership with Sky for our first event there, which is the best sports platform in the United Kingdom. We have a partnership with ESPN, which is going to be unbelievable over the next 3 years. And we've become great regular partners to Netflix. So the base is there for us to do incredible things. On the men's side, as you're seeing play out, there's just so many existing players that are fighting, tripping over themselves to one-up each other, and it's hard for me to see the clear path to return on investment, unless you have endless amounts of capital and are doing things for different reasons. We've been very successful on the men's side. The biggest event of the last 50 years is our event, which was Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. And we're going to continue to be selective about how we approach the men's side to make sure it works for us and our network partners. But we have plans to introduce something that's male specific, but different than what the existing players are doing.
Thank you, and congratulations on your launch.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll ask one question to my fellow Canadian, Tamm Thibeault. Great to see you again, Tamm. And this is all happening very fast. Great to see you back at MSG as well. #1 ranked in 3 sanctioning bodies, #2 you're on ESPN now, MVPW. You didn't think all of this would happen so fast when you turned pro, right?
I'll be honest with you, I wish it happened faster.
Okay.
I mean, I've been an elite athlete. I'm new in the professional game, yeah, but I've been an elite athlete for a long time. Most people don't know, but I've been boxing 20 years this year now. So I'm really excited, really honored, and eager to show the world what I'm about. Like, I love what I do. I love boxing. I love going to the gym, working on new things, and coming here and showing people what I can do, what women can do. Like, I don't want to be known as another woman athlete. I want to be known just another athlete like anybody else. And I'm so excited and so eager.
I didn't mention a date attached to your name. Can you tell us when we might see you again?
You will see me soon. We're still working out the kinks, but you guys stay tuned.
Okay. I'd like to ask a question to Tiara Brown. Why did you decide to sign with MVPW?
First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you, Nakisa. God is good, and I'm just blessed to be here because MVP is the best on the planet, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Welcome. When might we see you? Do you know as well? I'm just going to be like the probing guy who's asking all the fighters.
Hey, if they got you a fight, when is your fight?
Yeah, when is your fight? Tell us. Break us some news right now. What do you got?
Well, I'm waiting on a fight date, but just know I'm ready whenever.
All right. Let's go back to the video.
You're partnered with fight champion in boxing and a legend in all combat sports. What left do you have to prove to yourself? Like, how do you wake up inspired and motivated to compete when you have nothing to prove to anybody? You belong to the history books of both combat sports. What left do you have to prove to yourself?
Well, thank you so much for the kind words. I got into this sport, into fighting in general. You know, I know a lot of people know I boxed before MMA, but I was always part of a kickboxing gym and always around martial arts. I came into it wanting to do it. It wasn't really to prove anything to anybody. It was just something I wanted to do for myself. And that's how it started. It was just a passion I was following. And I didn't really think that it would turn into a pro fight, into championship fights, and then into a whole nother career. A lot of people told me going into MMA, I was already 30 years old at the time, that I should have retired then. And if I would have listened to everybody, I would have missed my entire MMA career. So yes, I am getting closer to, having my final fights and things like that, but I still feel it in myself and I still feel the passion. And that's why I still fight. Yes, I love the support and I love being part of things like this with all these women here, but I really truly feel at the end of the day that each fighter has to have the passion in them, as I know all these ladies do to get in there. So it's not necessarily something that I have to prove for anybody, it's just a passion I'm still following.
And one last question for Nakisa. The talent...
You and Clarissa going back and forth, so do you echo his sentiment?
Absolutely. But not to be mistaken for looking past April 17th. That's my main focus, and my goal is to put on a great performance and show you guys some wrinkles that you haven't seen. But I think that's a mega fight, you know, with MVPW and Nakisa at the head of making that happen. I think that's a great fight between me and Clarissa Shields.
And Ariel, I think, you know, that's an important point that she just made, right? She wanted to fight Lani Daniels, and people will say, well, Clarissa beat Lani Daniels. But I think Shadasia's plan is to show you why there's levels to her skill versus Clarissa Shields' skill by taking on the same opponent.
Noted. I did want to ask a question to Oshae Jones. Welcome as well. Great to have you here. First, if you could tell us why.
MVPW is the best platform for women's boxing. Like, they changed women's boxing so much. We've been evolving, and I'm a champion. This is where the best at. I might as well join them.
And I'll ask a similar question to Leanna as well. Welcome to MVPW. Why MVPW and also 150 pounds? Very interesting. Who do you have your sights set on? I'm sure you want some of these belts as well for your own particular weight class.
Thanks for having me here. I'd say I chose MVPW because they do have the best platform for women's boxing, and they open up a lot of opportunities and doors for women, and they give women the platform that they deserve. I mean, I'm so humbled to just be amongst these 10 great women here. So just to be in their presence and being signed to the same promotion, I'm super grateful and honored to be just a part of it. I'd say I'm a mandatory at 115 pounds in the WBA, and I'm wearing a fur coat. That's to signify if these girls call themselves the animal, I will have a mink soon.
Okay. I like that.
Wow.
I like that. Who's, you know, on the radar?
So, I mean, anyone that didn't know, I tore my ACL my last fight, and I fought 9 rounds with a torn ACL, so I'm still recovering. I'm hoping next week to be cleared so that I can show everyone I'm gonna have the craziest comeback story as an athlete.
I'm not doubting you, by the way. Can't wait to see that. Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to make sure we bring attention to MVPW. If you look at our logo, there's a reason that the W sits within MVP. The golden arches you see there represent the W, but it's part and parcel of the same brand. There is no differentiation between the men or the women. These athletes are the fabric of our organization, no different than Jake Paul, Ronald Walton, or Jamal Harvey, or Avius Griffin, or any other male that's a part of this platform. So while we want to say MVPW, they're all part of MVP at the end of the day.
Fair enough. Thank you. And I can't stop, I gotta be honest, I can't stop staring at that. Like those 3 letters, ESPN next to those 3 letters, and that arena, like all of this is making me very emotional, I'm not gonna lie. This all means a hell of a lot if you're a combat sportsman. Back to the media we go.
Hello everybody, my name is Brian Lima and I am reporting from the main event. My question is for Amanda Serrano, but before I get into that question, I want to say nothing but congratulations to all of you hard-working women that's on this stage right now. This sport is really hard to get into. You gotta drop a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this sport, and I can just say nothing but congratulations. And Nakisa, congratulations on signing the deal with ESPN. So Amanda, my question for you is, you started all the way from the bottom, blood, sweat, and tears, raising your way all the way to the top, and now you're on this big stage in front of all these hard-working women, all of these people here. The one question I have for you is, what is your dream fight? Like, who is somebody that has to get into the ring with you that hasn't yet?
I think I already have my dream fight. Fighting 3 times with Katie Taylor, that was the prop. It was amazing, but we have so many talented and great champions in this sport. But right now, I have the goal to break that knockout record that Kristen Martin had for 20 years, and that's the goal now. But I would love to fight anybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. My guy Curran, what do you got?
Armantia, congratulations to everyone up here on the amazing deal. Nakisa, quick question for you. In terms of MVP and ESPN, it seems like there was similar goals from the beginning. MVP has been boosting women's sports and women's sports Sundays and leaning into this initiative, something that's that we've all wanted for such a long time. Curious how it came together with ESPN. It seems like we were on parallel paths there for the same goal. role. So when it came to putting pen to paper, was it something you brought to them, something they wanted from you? How did it all come together?
Yeah, we started talking to ESPN early 2025 around the idea to one day be a part of ESPN. Once it was decided that they were moving on from Top Rank, we met with them and started to focus on what the future could look like. We definitely presented a focus on women's boxing because we think that's the untapped opportunity to actually drive real new fan engagement in the sport, right? Boxing has been around for many years. It's a global sport, but it's been male dominated. And every time these amazing athletes fight, you definitely get a percentage of the boxing audience. But there's also a passionate female fan base for women's sports. We believe with the power of these athletes, our storytelling, and ESPN's coverage and distribution, we can bring new fans to boxing.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be willing to move up to heavyweight to challenge her for her undisputed title. However, after watching her broadcast, she stated that she wanted to come down to super middle, which I have no problem with that either. I'm willing to do anything to get the best fights. But I don't know how realistic it is because just recently I heard Shield say she wanted to fight Michaela May. So, I mean, if she has to want it, I want it. But reality is we both have to come to terms and be willing to fight each other. I'm here, I'm not going nowhere. And I'm looking forward to the future.
Okay. Up next, sir.
How you doing, guys? Dakota from ITR Boxing. First of all, congratulations to all the champions on the stage. As a New York and New Jersey native, we take a lot of pride in our champions, and I'm looking at two.
Being a main event fighter takes a lot, right? And the whole show is on your shoulders. You want to have a great supporting cast, but ask Amanda, she's done it a few times, and she's like, I'm good being co-main event on the next one, just, because I don't want to be doing all these interviews and missing training time to push the fight, push ticket sales, push viewership. So it's really up to Shadasia, right? To one, say, yes, I want to do that, and then two, demonstrate that she wants to do that, because it's a business at the end of the day, right? You put butts in seats, you get eyeballs, you get opportunities. And she got a lot of eyeballs last July. She put on a masterful performance when many doubted her, right? When many were thinking, Savannah's got this. And she had an amazing speech at the end, started to really let herself show. And now she's back for another fight. So it's up to her to prove that back.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you guys.
And last but not least.
Yes, Dr. Adal with World Liberty TV Boxing Channel. Congratulations to all of the fighters. I just want to, with Amanda, I followed your career many years. You attended many boxing events where you've been honored. And, working with all these different promoters, I mean, it just wasn't happening to a level where it should have. And when you guys took over, you made it into the iconic person she richly deserved to be. And I'm glad that she's doing all these wonderful things. She has a huge nest egg to fall back on because 7-time world champion. And this is what she has to show. Now, I just want to get back to you, Keisha. The ESPN, congratulations on this, and I know Jake started the Netflix endeavors and everybody else is following. You guys are really original pioneers in these platforms. My question is, with the ESPN, are these going to be fights which are going to be with the subscription, or are you going to be shooting off to a pay-per-view model?
So our partnership is driven on being on the ESPN platform across the board, on linear and digital. And of course, there's the optionality to do pay-per-view events at the right time. We don't see a pay-per-view event in the pipeline at this moment in time, but they're the greatest ecosystem for sports, so if we were going to do a pay-per-view, of course we do it with ESPN.
I think everybody here can headline a pay-per-view.
Let's go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to you and the rest of the media.
Thank you for agreeing to come to El Paso. Thank you, everybody.